Grayson Hawk, a retired space explorer, embarks on a peaceful journey to Verdant Vista. Unexpectedly, a distress signal pulls him into a mission of life-saving heroics. As he rescues captive beings and battles dark forces, profound connections and love blossom. Will Grayson face peril or triumph? How will his moral values navigate this new chapter, challenging ethical dilemmas at every turn? If you want to dive into real stories of parallel realities every day, in enigmatic, technological worlds that are completely different from our planet, subscribe to our channel and leave your like. Well, let's go. Grayson Hawk, a 62-year-old veteran space explorer, sat in the command chair of his spaceship, the Odyssey. With his silver hair and a face weathered by countless interstellar missions, he was the very embodiment of a cosmic pioneer. His emerald green eyes, though dimmed a bit with age, still held the spark of 1,000 adventures. Today marked his final voyage towards Verdant Vista, a tranquil satellite renowned for its lush landscapes and serene atmosphere. His well-deserved retirement promised rest and reflection, a stark contrast to the frenetic life he'd led. With every system check and course adjustment, Grayson could almost feel the green pastures and hear the gentle hum of Verdant Vista. As stars streaked past the Odyssey's viewports, Grayson's mind wandered back through decades of adventure. Each chapter of his life, from thrilling discoveries to narrow escapes, played vividly in his thoughts. These memories were not mere recollections but milestones that had shaped his very essence, each one contributing to the rich tapestry of his existence. His experiences had ranged from navigating uncharted territories brimming with alien life to diplomatic missions aimed at peace between warring interstellar tribes. His journey had forged him into a legend among explorers, but now he sought peace. Suddenly, a jarring alert from the spaceship's radar system disrupted the tranquility. A distress signal, faint but urgent, flashed on his console. The message, encrypted and archaic, seemed to come from a sector he'd never ventured into before. Grayson leaned forward, the lines on his forehead deepening as he analyzed the data. The signal's urgency, a cry for help amidst the cold vacuum of space, tugged at his experienced heartstrings. The retired explorer in him knew that he couldn't ignore such a plea, no matter what his plans for a peaceful retreat might have been. With a resolute sigh, Grayson adjusted the ship's trajectory. He knew the promise of Verdant Vista would have to wait. His reason for exploration, the very marrow of his being, compelled him forward into the unknown. The Odyssey's powerful engines roared to life, veering off the planned course and into the murky depths of the cosmos. Ahead lay a destiny he could never have anticipated, a final mission that would challenge his skills, morals, and emotions like never before. As the Odyssey sped towards the source of the signal, the vastness of space seemed to close in around him. The black void, punctuated by twinkling stars, seemed almost sentient, as if it held its breath in anticipation of Grayson's next move. He checked the ship's system, ensuring all was in order. Each button, lever, and screen of the Odyssey had become an extension of himself over the years, and even now, they offered him a semblance of comforting familiarity as he plunged into what lay ahead. Hours turned into days as he sped through the cosmic expanse, mindfully avoiding asteroid fields and gravitational anomalies. Though his body longed for the peace and quiet of Verdant Vista, his spirit was invigorated by the hum of his engines and the promise of a new challenge. Solitude was both his comfort and his curse. He reveled in the silence of space, yet the weight of isolation bore heavily on his shoulders. But a mission was a mission, and Grayson Hawk never left calls for help unanswered. Gradually, the source of the signal became clear. A dark and ominous structure emerged from the shadows of an asteroid field, like a lurking predator waiting for its prey. Intricate designs sprawled across its surface, adorned with the uninviting glow of red lights. It was a space station, but unlike any he'd encountered before. His ship sent out docking requests, beeping in steady intervals, each unanswered request heightening his unease. Finally, a grudging acceptance allowed him to approach. As the Odyssey docked, the gravity of the situation revealed itself. The space station was more of a fortress, a hub for a sinister trade that thrived in the darkest corners of the galaxy. The airlock opened with a hiss, and Grayson stepped onto the cold, metallic floor, his boots echoing in the cavernous docking bay. The atmosphere was thick with tension and a stench that turned his stomach. Cautiously, Grayson made his way through dimly lit corridors, the eerie stillness punctuated only by the distant, muffled sounds of machinery and the occasional murmur of voices. The reality of the station's purpose hit him hard. It operated as a slave market, bustling with cruel activity and guarded by ruthless traffickers. Grayson's eyes took in the heartbreaking scene. Dozens of captive beings from various worlds huddled together, their eyes filled with despair and resignation. His heart ached at the sight of children, elders, and creatures of all kinds shackled and displayed like mere commodities. The stifling air was filled with a low hum of hopelessness, broken only by the harsh bark of their captors. Among the prisoners, Grayson's attention was drawn to two ethereal beings who stood out from the rest. Tanara and Ira, twin sisters, radiated an aura of delicate light. Their slender, almost translucent bodies shimmered faintly, a contrast to the dark surroundings. Their eyes, a blend of azure and silver, held both vulnerability and a spark of defiance. Tanara and Ira were the epitome of grace, even in captivity. Their plight evoked a profound sense of duty in Grayson's heart, the call for help now taking a very personal resonance. Grayson knew his actions here would have ripple effects across the galaxy. The traffickers were notorious and influential, their reach extending far beyond this dark corner of space. The decision to intervene would not be without consequence, but the alternative was unthinkable. He navigated the treacherous dynamics of the slave market with a mixture of determination and strategic resourcefulness. His reputation as a seasoned explorer and diplomatic negotiator came to his aid, but his most powerful weapon was his heart. He sacrificed all his savings, credits painstakingly earned over a lifetime of exploration and missions, to buy their freedom. Each transaction felt like a battle in itself, every credit spent a weapon against the vile practice around him. Battling the traders' greed and hostility, he managed to secure the release of Tanara, Ira, and a handful of other captive beings. The process was fraught with tension. Every moment was a gamble teetering between success and deadly backlash. But Grayson, drawing from his well of experience and moral conviction, navigated the treacherous waters with unyielding resolve. With the freed captives safely aboard the Odyssey, Grayson set a course for unknown coordinates. A remote and uninhabited planet within the nebula of Orion seemed a promising refuge. Unlike the busy trade routes and political hubs scattered throughout the galaxy, this refuge offered a sanctuary untouched by the devastation of intergalactic wars and sinister trades. It was here, amidst the primordial beauty of an untamed world, that they hoped to start anew. Grayson's ship edged closer to the dark, imposing space station concealed amidst a chaotic asteroid field. The station, an amalgam of rusty metal plates, thrusters, and satellite dishes, radiated an aura of imminent danger. As the ship docked, the full extent of the dire situation unraveled before his eyes. The structure, cloaked in shadows and shrouded in mystery, was a hub for a sinister industry, an intergalactic slave market operational in the galaxy's darkest corners. Once on board, Grayson was immediately struck by the overwhelming cacophony of sounds. Desperate cries for help, the abrasive barks of the guards, and the unsettling mechanical hum of machines. The stark lighting, casting harsh shadows across the grimy walls, revealed a bleak, oppressive environment. The air was thick with the stench of fear and desperation. Hundreds of sentient beings from diverse corners of the universe languished in captivity. These aliens ranged from towering, insectoid creatures with iridescent exoskeletons reflecting muted colors, to ethereal, almost translucent beings that emitted a faint, sorrowful glow. Each pair of eyes carried a story of pain, exploitation, and a yearning for freedom, igniting an intense feeling of indignation in Grayson. His gaze settled on Tanara and Ira, two luminescent beings who seemed to emit a delicate light even in this darkened place. Their appearance was otherworldly. Tanara had a soft halo of shimmering tendrils that floated around her head like ephemeral silk, while Ira's eyes, a deep, piercing azure, glowed with a subdued elegance. Their fragile, almost wisp-like bodies were adorned with patterns that looked like veins of light coursing beneath their translucent skin. Grayson's heart ached as he observed them, shackled with energy restraints that oppressed their natural luminescence, making them look dim and weakened. These beings had once been part of something beautiful and profound. Grayson didn't just see them as captives. He saw the remnants of a once thriving culture devastated by the merciless gears of interstellar strife. Taking a deep breath, he knew he had to act. With methodical determination, he navigated through the crowded marketplace, a volatile blend of various alien races either engaging in or suffering from this nefarious trade. Ruthless traffickers, adorned in high-tech armor and wielding advanced weaponry, ensured that resistance was a futile endeavor. Approaching the central trading area, Grayson noted the presence of Zorith, a notorious trafficker renowned for his cruelty. Zorith's appearance was intimidating. Standing at over 7 feet tall, his muscular frame was covered in a suit of dark, gleaming armor that seemed almost organic, pulsating with energy. His eyes glowed a menacing red, and his voice was deep and grating as he barked orders and negotiated deals. Navigating this perilous environment required not only bravery but a strategic mind. Grayson considered his options, knowing that a direct confrontation with the traffickers would be suicidal. Instead, he opted for a more calculated approach, leveraging all of his accumulated resources from years of exploration. His extensive savings, intended for a peaceful retirement, now found a different purpose: the liberation of those suffering around him. Grayson's negotiations were tense and grueling. The traffickers, driven by greed and power, were reluctant to part with their most prized captives. Grayson stood his ground, his experienced mind calculating every angle to ensure that he wasn't swindled or double-crossed. He skillfully navigated the treacherous waters of their greed and deceit, even as every second of delay weighed heavy on him. His heart pounded as he offered up his life's savings, credits, rare artifacts, and alien technology amassed over years of exploration. The traffickers' eyes gleamed with greed as they counted the payment, yet their hostility did not abate. Grayson lurched forward, his heart heavy with trepidation, as he saw several unscrupulous figures hovering around, clearly displeased with the potential loss of their merchandise. They seethed with resentment, eyes flashing with dangerous intent. He knew that even if he succeeded in securing Tanara and Ira's freedom, he would be marked by these dark souls seeking retribution. The handover was conducted with an atmosphere of barely contained tension. Zorith's cold eyes bore into Grayson, a wordless promise of future conflict evident in his gaze. Grayson steeled himself. He knew that this confrontation was merely the beginning. Once the transaction was complete, Grayson swiftly ushered Tanara and Ira out of the station, their forms visibly brightening as the energy shackles were removed. Emerging from the oppressive darkness of the slave market to the sanctity of his ship felt like a new dawn. Tanara and Ira, freed from their restraints, allowed their lights to shine once more. Grayson could see the relief and gratitude etched into their ethereal features. Yet there was also a shadow of what they had endured, a delicate fragility born from unimaginable suffering. With Tanara, Ira, and a few other liberated beings aboard, Grayson wasted no time in leaving the station amidst the chaotic asteroid field. As the starship navigated through the perilous rocks, the vast emptiness of space offered a brief respite from the haunting memories of the slave market. The route he chose was fraught with navigational challenges but provided the necessary cover to evade any immediate pursuit by the traffickers. He set a course for a remote and relatively unknown sector, with the destination being a planet hidden deep within the eerie nebula of Orion. During the journey, Grayson took time to understand the ordeal Tanara and Ira had suffered. He learned that they were the last remnants of Lumina, a planet that had once been a beacon of beauty and harmony, now reduced to cosmic dust due to an interstellar conflict. Their shared stories of Lumina's lush landscapes and vibrant culture highlighted the cruel contrast of their current situation. Grayson could see their emotional scars, the haunted look in their eyes when reminiscing about their home planet. The weight of their loss was palpable, and he felt a profound responsibility to protect and provide for them. Grayson knew the road ahead would be fraught with peril. The traffickers' thirst for revenge would not be quenched easily, and every step forward would be watched closely by unseen eyes. But as he gazed at Tanara and Ira, now shimmering with renewed hope, he understood that his purpose had shifted. He was no longer just a retired explorer seeking solace. He was a protector, a shield against the encroaching darkness of the galaxy. The hum of the ship's engines, the soft whispers of the cosmos outside, and the gentle presence of Tanara and Ira by his side formed a symphony of hope and renewal. Grayson's heart, though burdened by the knowledge of the formidable foes he had made, also brimmed with a fierce determination. The journey to the nebula of Orion was inherently dangerous, filled with cosmic phenomena that could easily jeopardize even the most advanced spacecraft. Grayson remained alert, reading the controls with seasoned eyes, his fingers dancing over the panels with an elegance born from decades of experience. The viewport displayed a kaleidoscope of celestial wonders and perils. Whirling pulsars, treacherous asteroid fields, and vast gaseous clouds that glowed with an ethereal beauty. Beside him, Tanara and Ira, the twin beacons of Lumina, watched in a mixture of awe and solemn reflection. As survivors of a shattered world, the sight of uncharted planets and unnamed stars conjured a web of complex emotions. Their ethereal auras, which subtly shifted in hue, mirrored their inner turmoil and weary hope. Tanara, older and wiser by virtue of luminosity years, possessed an inherent grace that made her presence almost otherworldly. Her eyes, a paradoxical deep azure and glowing gold, exuded a wisdom beyond her appearance. Ira, though similar in aura, had a more youthful energy, an untamed spark that contrasted her sister's serene composure. Together, they carried the heavy mantle of being the last of their kind, and now, a fragile hope rested on their shoulders. Grayson navigated the nebulous swirls with precision, steering them safely to the planet they hoped would become their haven. Upon approaching the uninhabited celestial body, initial scans offered mixed reviews, rocky terrains interspersed with patches of potentially fertile land, a climate that fluctuated but remained broadly within the spectrum tolerable for life. They touched down in a secluded valley sheltered from the harsher climatic fluctuations of the outer plains. As the hatch of Grayson's ship hissed open, the air outside was crisp but breathable, carrying hints of an alien fragrance that tickled their senses, perhaps a combination of unknown flora and minerals. It was a place untouched by the destructive hands of interstellar conflict. In the stillness of their landing site, the promise of a fresh start hung heavy in the air. Tanara and Ira shared their stories of Lumina with Grayson, painting vivid pictures of their home world. Lumina, once an Eden of bioluminescent forests and crystalline waters, fell to the chaos of warring factions seeking its rich resources. The destruction was swift and merciless, and the sisters barely escaped with their lives. They carried within them not just sorrow, but also an ingrained desire to preserve what Lumina had represented: peace, unity, and the light of compassion. Grayson listened with a respectful silence, absorbing their grief and dreams. His responsibility extended far beyond the initial act of rescue. He understood the profound need to nourish their spirits and preserve their legacy, even on an alien soil. They began to work immediately, combining their disparate skills to terraform their new home. Utilizing their unique Luminan abilities, Tanara and Ira were able to accelerate the growth of native plants, transforming barren patches into burgeoning oases. They crafted makeshift dwellings from available resources, slowly turning the desolate landscape into a thriving sanctuary. Over time, their bond deepened. Grayson's rugged exterior gradually softened, revealing a heart capable of immense tenderness. Each day introduced new activities, from scouting the planet's geography to experimenting with agricultural techniques, that solidified their interdependence. They shared meals of foraged alien fruits and vegetables, their flavors foreign yet strangely familiar. Under the night skies, glittering with distant galaxies, they exchanged tales of Earth and Lumina, weaving a shared tapestry of memories and aspirations. In these tranquil moments, the emotional connection between them intensified. Tanara's wisdom and guidance became a beacon for Grayson, while Ira's energy and hope infused him with renewed purpose. Love blossomed as naturally as the alien plants they nurtured. The realization of their love was not marked by dramatic confessions but rather through simple, unspoken gestures. A gentle touch while passing tools, a laugh shared over a new discovery, a silent moment of understanding when discussing their lost home worlds. Their differences, be it species or cultural, melted into insignificance as they confessed their feelings under the surreal vista of twin moons casting a silver glow over their sanctuary. To celebrate their commitment, they held a simple, heartfelt ceremony under the alien skies. It was a night where the air was thick with serenity, the stars twinkling like cosmic witnesses to their union. They stood in a circle, hands intertwined, with makeshift lanterns of bioluminescent plants casting a soft light around them. Silent vows were made, promises of love and respect sealing their new life together. Eternity seemed to pause, holding its breath in honor of their unity. In the months that followed, their burgeoning family faced numerous challenges, both from the untamed environment and looming threats from the factions pursuing their revenge. Grayson took on the role of protector with a fervor, his resolve unyielding against the shadows of their enemies. Tanara and Ira used their ethereal abilities not just to sustain their new habitat, but also as defenses when needed. Each attack from the past, every haunting echo, only served to solidify their unity and resilience. Grayson's newfound purpose in protecting and cherishing his family brought a profound sense of fulfillment. He was no longer a solitary explorer drifting through the cosmos. He had found his anchor, his reason for living. The trials and tribulations of their journey sculpted their bond, turning adversity into a testament of their collective strength. Together, they built a home, a symbol of their survival and tenacity. Each brick, each plant, each step forward was a silent homage to their journey and sacrifices. As the previously barren world began to flourish under their care, so too did their dreams. It wasn't just about surviving, it was about thriving, about transforming despair into hope, loss into love. Grayson's story elegantly highlights that acts of kindness and self-sacrifice can metamorphose into the most enriching and unforeseen outcomes. His initial distress signal transformed into a beacon of newfound purpose, where love and unity prevailed. The final scene left lingering questions, a promise of adventures yet to come, destinies waiting to unfurl. Thus, the chapter closed with an abrupt halt, no clear closure, no moral lesson summarily tied up. Just the weight of a journey past and the promise of an uncertain, yet hopeful future hanging in the air, stirring anticipation for what lies beyond in the vast expanse of the cosmos. The barren planet within the nebula of Orion, where Grayson, Tanara, and Ira had sought refuge, was slowly springing to life. The alien landscape, once stark and unwelcoming, began to show promise under the diligent care of its new inhabitants. It had taken months of hard work, but gradually, patches of green vegetation emerged, dotting the rugged terrain and offering a glimpse of hope amidst the desolation. Grayson's ingenuity in adapting Earth-based agricultural techniques to this foreign soil was a key factor in their success. He employed hydroponic systems and advanced genetic modification to ensure that the plants could thrive in the planet's unique environment. Tanara and Ira, with their ethereal light and delicate presence, brought their own knowledge of luminous botany, merging their chlorophyll-rich flora with Grayson's resilient crops. The trio worked side by side, forging a sense of community that was rare in the vast, indifferent universe. As they toiled together beneath the alien skies, they confided in each other, sharing stories and experiences that spanned galaxies. Grayson spoke of his numerous adventures, revealing tales of bravado and close calls from the farthest reaches of space. Tanara and Ira, in turn, recounted the rich history of Lumina and the peaceful existence they had once known before the darkness of war overtook their world. Through these shared moments, a deep, emotional connection grew. Despite their disparate origins, their souls resonated with a mutual understanding and respect. They found joy in simple acts: Tanara's laughter at Grayson's older jokes, Ira's fascination with Earth's ancient myths, and Grayson's admiration for the luminous resilience. One night, under the glow of alien constellations, the unspoken bond between them materialized into something palpable. Grayson had prepared a makeshift feast with the latest yield from their crops. Tanara fashioned a crude but charming garland from blooming bioluminescent flowers, while Ira brewed a concoction from lumina herbs that tasted both otherworldly and familiar. As they gathered around a flickering campfire, a sense of quietude settled over them. The air was thick with unspoken emotions. Tanara, with her translucent wings shimmering in the firelight, reached out to Grayson, her eyes reflecting a universe of shared experiences and budding affection. Without words, they held hands, the simple gesture communicating their profound connection. Ira, with her soft, melodic voice, spoke first. "In our culture," she began, "when we bond with others, it is a union of spirits as much as hearts. Our love transcends the physical, binding us in an eternal dance of light and shadow." Grayson squeezed Tanara's hand and looked at Ira with a mixture of determination and tenderness. "On Earth, we have a saying: we are all stardust. It means we are connected by the very fabric of the universe. I feel that with you both. Our pasts may be different, but our futures are now intertwined." Under the alien heavens, they shared a silent vow, promising to build a life together, grounded in love and mutual respect. Their commitment was sealed not with grand declarations, but with quiet gestures of affection and understanding. The ceremony was simple, heartfelt, and witnessed only by the stars above. In the days and weeks that followed, their community flourished. The once barren landscape began to resemble a thriving oasis. The luminescent flowers cultivated by Tanara emitted a soft, ambient glow, illuminating their nights with a serene light. Ira's herbal mixtures provided remedies for their ailments and added flavors to their meals that were unknown to Grayson's palate but quickly became cherished. Grayson's technological expertise continued to be indispensable. He developed a protective dome over their settlement, shielding them from the planet's unpredictable weather and potential external threats. Inside this sanctuary, they established a home filled with warmth and affection. The trio faced numerous challenges, each one testing their resolve and unity. The harsh environment, with its erratic climate and occasional hostile fauna, demanded constant vigilance. Grayson often spent nights repairing the protective dome or upgrading their defense systems, while Tanara and Ira monitored the crops and maintained their makeshift habitat. Despite the physical and emotional weight of their endeavors, their love and determination saw them through. They grew to depend on each other, not only for survival but for emotional sustenance. Every hardship reinforced their bond, making them resilient to the threats that loomed in the shadows. Their peace, however, was never absolute. The traffickers from the slave market hadn't forgotten about Grayson's defiance. Rumors of retaliation and vengeance reached their ears sporadically, a grim reminder of the dangers that lay beyond their haven. Grayson, now a sentinel as much as he was a family man, spent long hours strategizing defenses and training all three of them in the art of combat and evasion. Tanara's ethereal abilities allowed her to sense disruptions in energy fields, providing an early warning system against potential threats. Ira, with her knowledge of Lumina's ancient martial forms, taught Grayson and Tanara defensive techniques unique to her species. Together, they created a formidable team, ready to defend their sanctuary against any incursion. In quieter moments, away from the daily grind of survival and preparation, they found solace in each other's company. The planet's twin moons often cast a dual shadow, creating an ethereal ambiance under which they would sit and simply exist together. Under these celestial beacons, their conversations turned from survival to dreams of expanding their sanctuary, maybe even welcoming others like them who sought peace. Grayson, who had spent most of his life drifting among the stars, found a profound sense of purpose in protecting and cherishing his newfound family. The once solitary explorer now reveled in the company of those he loved deeply. His heart, hardened by years of adventure and loss, softened with the daily acts of love and care from Tanara and Ira. They were no longer just survivors, they were a family. In this new chapter of his life, the hardships they endured only served to fortify their unity. They built a home, not just a physical structure, but an emotional and spiritual sanctuary where dreams of peace and love could flourish. The barren landscape of their adopted world was now an oasis of life, a testament to their resilience and unity. As they entered a period of relative tranquility, their thoughts turned towards the future. Grayson, Tanara, and Ira began discussing the possibility of reaching out to other survivors, forming a larger community bound by the same principles of love and mutual respect. The idea of transforming their small haven into a beacon of hope for others became their collective dream. Grayson's story was no longer just his own. It was intertwined with the lives of Tanara and Ira, a living testament to the power of sacrifice and the unexpected rewards of altruism. Their journey, fraught with peril and hardship, had led them to a place of profound love and connection. In the months that followed their makeshift ceremony under the alien skies, Grayson, Tanara, and Ira began to forge a family based not on the ties of blood, but something far stronger, the bonds of love and shared adversity. Their trials seemed endless, yet each challenge they faced only served to deepen their connection. The unique environment of their remote planet presented innumerable obstacles, from unpredictable weather patterns and barren soil to the lurking presence of vengeful slave traders who had not forgotten their losses. Life on this new planet began as a difficult struggle. The soil, initially found to be barren and inhospitable, required extensive work to become fertile. Grayson's knowledge from years of space exploration proved invaluable. Using an amalgamation of agricultural techniques he'd picked up from numerous worlds, and some trial and error, he managed to coax life from the ground. Tanara and Ira, with their mysterious understanding of luminal energy from their home planet, aided in ways Grayson found both miraculous and puzzling. Together, they crafted a sustainable environment, a testament to their perseverance and ingenuity. The cultivated fields, though modest, began yielding lush, radiant crops, infused with an iridescent sheen. These crops not only nourished their bodies but seemed to uplift their spirits, reinforcing the profound connection between their collective labor and their shared existence. Their rudimentary dwelling, built from salvaged parts of Grayson's spaceship and indigenous materials, evolved into a sanctuary, a safe harbor from the perils of the galaxy. Grayson found himself increasingly protective of his newfound family. Every rustle in the foliage, every distant rumble of thunder, sent a jolt of vigilance through his aging frame. The shadow of the traffickers loomed large, a constant reminder of the darkness they had fled. Yet, it was also this shadow that solidified their bond, forging in them a united front against the cruelties of their universe. Their life cycle harmonized with the peculiar rhythm of their planet. The long days were filled with toil and mutual discovery, while the extended nights provided moments of reflection and communion under the stars. Tanara and Ira, once strangers from a vanquished world, now became integral parts of Grayson's life. Their individual quirks, strengths, and vulnerabilities enriched the dynamic of their small community, weaving a tapestry of friendship and trust. The threat from the traffickers, though dormant for a time, eventually stirred them into action. Unsettling messages were intercepted, hinting at a looming confrontation. Grayson took these threats seriously, refining their defense mechanisms and instilling in Tanara and Ira the essential skills for protecting their sanctuary. They employed a mixture of ancient Lumina tactics with Grayson's experience in guerrilla warfare, creating a defense system that was unexpectedly formidable. Amidst these preparations, Grayson discovered a deeper resilience in himself he hadn't known existed. The former explorer, who once thrived on solitude and the pursuit of the unknown, now found his greatest journey in preserving his new family. He taught Tanara and Ira the principles of navigation and survival, while they, in turn, imparted to him the wisdom of their ethereal energy, which he learned to harness in small, yet profound ways. The moonless nights held a particular poignancy. While Grayson recounted tales of his adventurous past, delineating the vast mosaic of the galaxy, Tanara and Ira would share hauntingly beautiful myths from Lumina. These stories, filled with luminal entities and cosmic dances, served not only to entertain but to embed in Grayson a spiritual sense of the universe, a universe that was as mystical as it was vast. Their love, once fragile and fledgling, solidified into an unbreakable bond. The scars each bore from their tumultuous pasts didn't vanish but instead became part of the intricate sculpting of their new life together. In the sanctuary of their modest home, they celebrated a myriad of humble victories, whether it be the first bloom of a rare flower, the birth of an exotic animal, or simply the striking beauty of a peaceful day undisturbed by peril. One serene evening, as the sky blazed with the soft hues of an alien sunset, Grayson, Tanara, and Ira gathered around a makeshift hearth. The glow from the fire reflected in their eyes, casting shadows that danced with life. The tranquility of the moment was suddenly shattered by a distant, ominous sound, a reminder that danger was never far. Though the noise eventually dissipated, it left behind a lingering tension, binding them closer together. That night, under a sky dotted with unfamiliar constellations, Grayson reflected on the unpredictable path his life had taken. His heart swelled with gratitude for the unforeseen twists that had led him to this point. The journey to Verdant Vista had been one of retirement and solitude, yet it transformed into an epic saga of sacrifice, love, and unyielding perseverance. The mission to save lives, while perilous, had given him more purpose than he could have ever anticipated. As the stars sparkled above, Tanara and Ira revealed a secret they'd been harboring, an ancient ritual from Lumina meant to invoke protection and prosperity. With Grayson, they performed the ritual, their voices harmonizing in an ethereal chant that seemed to meld with the very fabric of the cosmos. The experience transcended the physical, connecting them on a spiritual level that words could scarcely describe. The following days saw a renewed sense of hope. The ritual's effects were subtle yet palpable. A fortified resolve and an almost tangible sense of security enveloped their small sanctuary. Grayson's late-night vigils became more about contemplation than vigilance. He pondered the mysteries of the universe, the enigmatic energy that flowed through his family, and the unforeseen adventures still awaiting them. Their adversaries, though persistent, represented only one of the myriad challenges they faced. Yet, it was through facing these very adversaries that Grayson, Tanara, and Ira discovered their true strength. Their lives, interwoven with strands of love, courage, and hope, stood as a testament to the resilience of the human and non-human spirit. For every threat that loomed, there was also a promise of unexplored realms, untapped potentials, and the abiding strength of their familial bond. It became evident that their journey was not merely about survival, but about living, truly living, in the fullest sense. The luminous crops they harvested, the vibrant ecosystem they nurtured, and the small yet significant community they built were all symbols of their triumph over adversity. In the end, Grayson's final journey was not the solitary voyage he had envisioned. It was a symphony of lives intertwined, a tapestry rich with love, sacrifice, and the endless quest for connection. As he stood on the precipice of another alien night, his heart, once encased in the armor of an explorer, now beat with the fervent rhythm of a protector, a lover, and a father. If you liked this story based on real events, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like it. Here you can dive into a different reality every day, where anything can happen. Comment below what kind of story you would like to hear here. Thank you very much for your attention. We are the Sci-Fi family.